What's up, guys? I'm TechSource. Welcome to Setup Wars, episode 247, the show where we show off some awesome setups for you guys to get inspiration from. And if you want to be a part of the show, make sure to watch the video link down below. But with that said, we have a pretty awesome show packed for you guys. Let the Setup Wars begin. We all know what happens when you put a cheap power supply in your PC. Going with a quality power supply ensures your PC runs without any issues and prolongs the life of your PC. Be Quiet power supplies are among the best in the market thanks to their premium components and world-class manufacturing in Germany. They recently launched their new Pure Power 11. It's a fully modular 80+ gold certified power supply with a 94% efficiency rating. The PSU also comes with a silent optimized 120mm Be Quiet fan with airflow optimized fan blades, delivering extraordinary silent operation that Be Quiet is famous for. The Pure Power 11 supports all high-end graphics cards with up to 4 PCI Express connectors. Pick yours up today by visiting the link below. Kicking off the episode is Evan from California and his beautiful video and photo editing setup. Just look at that presentation. Damn! Not a single wire in sight. My eyes have been blessed today. He built the setup on a custom desk that he picked up from a locally harvested liquid amber tree, and he welded 2 frames together for support. He even got the same type of wood for his PC shelf up top. I love the dedication here. Looks like both monitors are mounted against the wall for that minimalistic floating look. We got a single 32-inch ultrawide as the main with a 27-inch on the side for secondary. For peripherals, he's using the Corsair K95 keyboard and the Razer Naga Trinity mouse. I gotta say, I love the dedicated cable grommet he made to pass through the cables. That's actually a genius way to manage those cables for those who use a mouse bungee. Moving on to audio, he's got 2 Mackie CR3 speakers mounted against the wall with some acoustic panels for a bit of sound dampening that also helps cover the cables behind. And aside from the speakers, he also uses the Philips Fidelio headphones that he has hanging underneath the desk. And finally, the 2035 microphone that he has hooked up to his Behringer audio interface. A really nice audio setup. No complaints when it comes to cable management. Then again, I'm not surprised. You can always tell if the person's setup looks really clean above the waist, then 99% of the time it has great cable management. The PC powering it all is a custom inverted build with the i7-6700K and the GTX 1080. It's always refreshing seeing different PC cases like this one from Segotep, which shifts the entire components to the side. This means the motherboard ports are now near the top, making the cable routing a lot easier for this type of setup. You can definitely tell he put some time into the planning aspect of the setup, and it shows in the execution. Thank you, Evan, for starting off the show. Coming up next is Gavro from Switzerland and his gaming and studying setup. We got the Lindman Oddwald combo with a single 32-inch Samsung monitor mounted against the desk. I know your old setup used to have 2 monitors, which explains the dual monitor mount, but since you downsized to a single monitor, wouldn't it make more sense to sell that and go with a single mount? That way you don't have that extra arm just sitting there. For peripherals, we got the Ducky 1-2 keyboard with the Model O mouse combo. And moving on to audio, we got the HyperX Cloud Flight headset and a Samsung soundbar that's hooked up on the wall. Now, the location of the soundbar is great, but it's kind of being blocked off by the monitor. I would have personally lowered it a bit more so it's sitting on the edge of the desk. This way the audio quality isn't compromised, and you can also hide the cable from the soundbar much easier. Since I'm recommending things, I might as well mention that you can pick up a stand for your controller to add both function and a bit of personalization to your setup. I did feature one in my last Cool Tech video, but they actually make a bunch of different ones, and I'm confident you will find one that you will like. The desk lamp also appears to be in a pretty awkward location. I feel like it would make more sense in the back of the desk between the PC and the monitor arm. That way, if you're not using it, you can always tuck it away behind the monitor. I can see that you picked up 2 Signum racks to help with cable management, so good job there, but you could also add a few Velcro straps to the cables behind your PC to keep them from flaring out. And speaking of the PC, we got a beautiful custom build inside the Lean Lee Dynamic O11. It's packing the 8700K and the Asus RTX 2070 Super. It's nice to see that you put some love and care into your PC by sticking with a certain color scheme and going with some cable extensions, but that 240mm radiator is not doing the case any justice aesthetically with that empty spot near the top. A 360 rad would have looked much better. Look, I don't want you to feel discouraged from all of these suggestions. This doesn't mean your setup is bad. I'm just giving you my recommendations, and that's kind of the point of Setup Wars, right? You guys send in your setups for me to give my personal opinion about it and suggestions on how you can improve your setup. You know, a lot of people don't necessarily agree with my suggestions, and that's okay because, you know, everyone's preference is different. Just because I say something about a setup doesn't mean it's the final word and that's what you should do. A lot of people think I'm like this setup god or something, when in reality, I'm just some dude on the internet who has a passion for setups. That's it. Even if you walk away with just one of my suggestions, then I will feel accomplished. But in the end, it's your money, it's your setup, do what makes you comfortable and do what makes you happy. You have definitely made some nice upgrades from your previous setup, and that's the most important thing, is that you're actually improving. I do have confidence that after just a few adjustments, you can improve your setup even further. Thank you, Gavro, for entering. Here's a pretty sweet gaming setup from Hugo. So he built this for gaming and school. We got a custom countertop with a few IKEA legs as support and the Alex drawer for some storage. My only concern with the desk layout is that the PC is sitting right above your heater. I'm not really sure if that's going to cause you any issues during the winter, but I would imagine that some of the heat would impact your temps, but correct me if I'm wrong. He's rocking dual 24-inch AOC monitors that he mounted to the desk, and it looks like he painted the red chin on those in white to better match the color scheme of the setup. He even painted some parts of his Corsair keyboard and the mouse in white. I always say, if you can't find the perfect gear to match your setup's colors, then just buy the gear you always wanted and paint them. I mean, sure, you're gonna avoid the warranty, but doesn't it make more sense going with the gear you've always wanted instead of settling with something else just because it matches your setup's colors? Think about it. Looks like the only audio source for the setup is the SteelSeries Arctis 7 headset that he has hanging underneath the desk. And while we're here, let's take a look at the cable management. No major complaints. Looks like there are some loose cables on the left side that you could have easily wrapped around the leg using white Velcro straps, and you didn't really need that Signum rack, to be honest, since you already hooked up the power strip underneath the desk. But other than that, everything else looks good. He does own a Nintendo Wii, but he mostly games on his custom budget PC that's equipped with the Core i5-9400F and the Asus GTX 1660 Ti. I like the way you ran the AIO tubes over the RAM sticks, by the way. It looks really good. A pretty clean and straightforward setup. Thank you, Hugo, for sharing this with us. Coming in at number 4 is a student from South Africa, Jamie, who built the setup for video editing, graphic design, as well as competitive gaming. We have a beautiful quad display setup built on a custom ebony countertop and a custom drawer as well. First off, I gotta say the presentation is beautiful. All 4 of the monitors are the same size and they are perfectly mounted with symmetry in mind. The wall shelves holding up your speakers were a great idea, but if you want to go with a more cleaner or minimal look, you can always buy these tiny speaker stands from Amazon instead. There's a few options available for different sizes. If you want to check it out, I'll drop a link to them below. Aside from the speakers, he does own a few headsets as well. We got the Corsair Void Pros for gaming and the DT990 Pros for video editing. Looks like he's keeping things simple with the peripherals, and it's the most popular combo we have seen from time and time again. We got the Ducky 1.2 SF keyboard with custom keycaps paired beautifully with the Model O gaming mouse, a match made in heaven, if you will. It's kind of hard to see in the pictures, but he also has a microphone attached to a boom arm, which is in a good location. I do appreciate seeing raceways covering the cables from the speakers and the monitors going down, and my man even made his own cable net underneath the desk. Nicely done. Finishing up with his custom PC that's packing the i5-8400 and the GTX 1060. I think one of your fans isn't working, by the way, and also you have your 2 front fans set as exhaust instead of intake. Your PC isn't getting any fresh cool air, so you might want to flip those fans the other way around. But overall, a pretty solid quad display setup. Thank you, Jamie, for entering. Wrapping up the episode is Ricardo, coming all the way from Portugal, and damn, look at that wall art behind the setup. That thing looks so freaking dope. It kind of takes away the spotlight from your setup, if I'm being honest, but who the hell cares? I love it. It's so unique. It's definitely a conversation starter at the very least. So Ricardo is a senior full-stack developer and designer for graphics, sound, and UI UX, and he built 3 separate setups, each with its own purpose. We got the gaming/entertainment setup for kicking back and relaxing with some movies or gaming on his PS4. We also have an Apple setup that he uses mainly for app development, and then we have his main setup where he spends most of his time in. I gotta say, I love that bright wooden countertop. It just brings out the colors of the setup and adds a nice layer of contrast from the wall art. If you went with a black countertop instead, I feel like everything would have just blended in. Looks like it does everything on a single 32-inch 4K monitor from LG. And since you're not mounting it against the desk, I feel like a monitor riser would be perfect for this setup, because not only will it raise the monitor to a more comfortable viewing angle, but it will also give you extra space underneath to store your keyboard and audio interface. This bamboo riser from Amazon will look amazing in your setup, and it will match your countertop perfectly. I'll leave a link below if you want to check it out. Just check the measurements to make sure your keyboard can fit underneath it. For peripherals, he's rocking his SteelSeries Apex 7 keyboard with the MX Master 2S mouse, and we got an RGB mouse pad for a little bit of accent lighting. I appreciate the fact that you tie the cables up top with some Velcro straps, but if you add one more Velcro near the bottom where the mouse pad connects to the keyboard, you will have a much cleaner cable path. For audio, he's rocking those juicy Yamaha HS5 speakers with a pair of Beats headphones resting on a pretty cool skull holder. Cables could definitely use some work. I mean, the cable box only hides the power strip, so you still have to manage the rest of the wires. I showed off some really cool zip tie mounts on my last Cool Tech video. You should definitely check it out if you want some more tips on cable management. Finishing up with the custom PC tucked away in the corner, we got the i7-8700K paired with the Asus GTX 1050 Ti inside the NZXT H500i case. The setup could use some minor tweaks to improve, but what you've built so far is amazing. I just can't get over that wall art. I'm actually curious how you did that. Is it something you actually purchased? If so, from where? Please let me know in the comment section, because I might pick it up. They say size matters. Well, I beg to differ. Sometimes big things come in small packages. At least that's what my wife tells me. But you know what else comes in small packages? The new Corsair K65 RGB Mini. Packed with Corsair's Axon hyper-processing technology, the keyboard delivers blazing fast input speeds of up to 8 times faster, while simultaneously driving up to 20-layer lighting effects. No other keyboard has this much juice besides their K100. The K65 Mini features PBT double shot keycaps and comes available in either Cherry MX Reds or the lightning fast speed silvers. To learn more, click the link below. And that is it for today's video. As always, make sure you guys comment below and let me know which of these setups was your absolute favorite and why. If you guys enjoyed today's video, maybe consider tossing a like, as it does help out the channel a ton, and I will be forever grateful to your cheeks. If this type of content floats your boat, maybe consider subscribing, because I do host setup wars every single Monday here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you beautiful fingernails, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.